What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the MMA Mechanic, and welcome to the garage. So I got a question for everybody before we get into this. As you can see on the screen here, we got Robert Whittaker versus Reinier de Ridder this Saturday, Fight Night, main event. But we are going to go over the whole card. My question to you is Robert Whittaker washed enough to lose to Reinier de Ridder? Because I personally believe that's what he has to be to lose this fight. We are going to discuss that when we get there. We're going to start with the prelims. We're going to go through the main event. But before we do that, guys, I want to say thank you. Thank all of you. We are up to 70 subscribers within a week. It's going to continue to grow. We are, the interactions are going crazy, right? So we got comments, likes going crazy. Please continue to share, continue to hit the bell icon, continue to comment, like. Yeah, and let's just grow this thing and take it to the top. All right, so again, guys, I really appreciate it. Appreciate all the love and support. And yes, with that being said, we're going to get right into the first fight here. We have Martin Buday versus Marcus Buchecha Almeida. And so here's the thing. Martin Buday, big back, man. Definition. I mean, the guy is severely out of shape, right? Both of these men are 250 pounds plus. One of them looks like he takes his health and he's seriously. Like he's concerned for his well-being. Martin Buday, if you don't watch prelims, guys, I encourage you to just turn on the TV and just look at what the shape of some of the heavyweights are in the heavyweight division. Okay, so with that being said, though, I do think that, you know, Martin Buday, he does move well. You know, he has a nice lead jab. And I do think that it's important to note he is a BJJ black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. The only issue with that is the guy he's fighting is a 17-time BJJ world champion. 17-time. So what that means is he's probably going to go into the ring. He's going to take Martin Buday down, and in the first round, he's going to submit him. That is my prediction for this fight. I don't see any other way this goes. Martin Buday is just at a severe disadvantage here. I mean, the guy, Marcus Buchecha Almeida, you know, he has a reach advantage. He does have power. I just think he's better everywhere. He will submit Martin Buday within the first round. Second fight on the card, we got Mohammed Yahya versus Stephen Nguyen. Mohammed Yahya is a literal punching bag. He stands straight up. Head doesn't move at all. Stiff as a board. Gets cracked. As you can see, he throws 2.4 significant strikes per minute, and he gets hit with 5. The guy doesn't defend himself, and he doesn't throw punches. He doesn't fight back, right? So he lost to Kai Fernandez, and I mean exactly what I said. Kai Fernandez just walked him, marched him down, and just swung crazy hooks at him, and just finished him the first round. Trevor Peek went in there and outlanded him out over 3 rounds, and just had his way with him. The guy he's fighting in Stephen Nguyen this Saturday, Stephen Nguyen doesn't have great defense either. He gets hit a lot. As you can see, he absorbs 7 significant strikes per minute, but he throws 7 significant strikes per minute. Now, I know this is data collected on one fight, but I mean, he showed us in that fight that he's willing to scrap. You know, because Jarno Evans put it on him, man. Jarno Evans cracked him, busted up his lip within the first round. He was leaking all over the place, damaged his face all over the place. He was looking rough, but Stephen Nguyen was thrown back. He didn't give up. I mean, there were moments. He had moments in the fight, and again, he landed a lot on Jarno Evans as well. He just got you know, the more significant blows, the more damaging blows were landed to him. I just think that in this fight, he's gonna come with that same aggression, especially with a guy in Mohammed Yahya who does not want to throw a punch, it seems like. And I see Stephen Nguyen winning this by early second round KO. Third fight on the card, we have Aslan versus Billy Elekana. So here's the thing. Aslan is got tremendous power. You know, in his last fight against Ion Cutelaba, he got taken down and just kind of brutalized. He lost in the first round by TKO. But his previous fights before that, he, you know, he was winning, you know, first round KOs, swarming guys up against the fence, just raining punches down, and just, you know, knocking guys out in the first round. Billy Elekana, he has ability to get takedowns. He took down Bogdan, Guskov, but you know, Bogdan eventually got back up and just cracked him and dropped him in the first round. So I do think that Ibo Aslan is not even going to give him a chance to get a takedown. Ibo Aslan starts a little bit faster than Bogdan, and I just see Ibo Aslan going out there and just swarming him early and often. Billy Elekana is just going to shell up, and I do see him getting finished on the fence in the first round. Next fight on the card, we got Amanda Ribas versus Tabatha Ricci. So Tabatha Ricci likes to clench you up on the fence, and she likes to land nothing shots like she did against Angela Hill. You know, she didn't. I don't know how she got that decision victory, but it's happened several times in her career. Now, in her last fight against Yan Xiaonan, she got shown levels. Yan Xiaonan shrugged her off every time she tried to enter. And I do think that's what Amanda Ribas is going to do. Amanda Ribas is a judo practitioner. She will flip Tabatha Ricci on her head. She's going to press forward. She's going to land hard. And, you know, we've seen her land a spinning wheel kick against Mackenzie Dern. Against Macy Barber, and hurt Macy Barber. She had a back and forth fight, which honestly it was a close fight. It was like, I think Rose Namajunas won 3 rounds to 2 against her. If I remember correctly, it was a close fight, or maybe it was 3 rounds. I think it was 3 rounds, and Rose won 2 out of the 3 rounds. But either way, like I said, it was a close fight. Those are higher levels of competition than Tabatha Ricci's faced. You know, again, Yan Xiaonan, when she faced higher level of competition, Yan showed her levels. Yan Xiaonan showed her levels. I mean, was just landing at will. It seemed like shrugging her off, you know, stuffing takedowns. I mean, yeah, it was kind of like a masterclass, honestly. It was almost as if Tabatha Ricci didn't belong in the ring with her, in the cage with her. Literally is what it looked like. So to the next fight, we got Damon Blackshear versus Davey Grant. Now, before I go into Damon, I'm going to say Davey Grant is a slick striker. Good setups. He knows what he's doing on the feet, you know. He has a ground game as well. The issue with Davey Grant is that Davey Grant is 39, right? So Davey Grant, he beat Brad Tavares' last fight. We've seen him, you know, in his A-Day beat Marlon Chito Vera, Jonathan Martinez. But it's just like he's 39 now, man. You can see the decline in his power. He hasn't really had any knockouts in his recent fights or submissions. While Damon Blackshear is, you know, while he got knocked out by Montel Jackson, you know, you saw him in a really competitive fight against Mario Batista, high-level competition. And he's on a 3-fight win streak. Yeah, I see Damon Blackshear put someone in a twister, right? He put somebody in a twister. I think he has the only twister submission victory in UFC history. So I just see Damon Blackshear. He's a specialist. I just see him being better everywhere. He's stronger. I mean, again, he's bigger. He's 5'10". He has a 3-inch reach advantage. I'm seeing Damon Blackshear by decision. I think Davey Grant is still crafty. He's still a solid opponent, and I think he's going to be able to push Damon Blackshear to this decision loss for himself. And that's where I'm going with this. I think Damon will win by decision. Next fight, we got Muslim Salikhov versus Carlos Leal. Yeah, I was struggling with his name there, his last name. Carlos Leal. So Muslim Salikhov, we saw him land a spinning wheel kick to Sankanang. That's like the second one he's landed in his career. He has several of those. He's known for that. He has a really good karate style. And, you know, he has a chance to land a good shot. The issue is the guy he's fighting is a brick house. He lost in a robbery. Carlos Leal lost in a robbery to Renat Frakhridenov. I can't say his name. Okay, I struggle with names, by the way, if you haven't noticed. I really struggle with some of these names. So again, Carlos Leal, he got robbed versus Renat. And he then took out his anger and aggression on Alex Marone in the very next fight. As you can see, he lands in 9.65 significant strikes. per minute. Now, I know this is tallied over 2 fights, but this just shows you what he did to Alex Morono. He swarmed him and just would not stop punching until Alex Morono fell out. And so he stopped Alex Morono by TKO. And, I'll give Alex Morono his credit, though. In that fight, he was trying to fight back a little bit. He was swinging back, but he just got overwhelmed. And it wasn't even a real fight, it seemed like. It looked like this one guy was just bullying one, taking his lunch, eating it right in front of him, and daring him to do something about it, which he tried, but, it didn't work. So I see Carlos Leal getting a first-round KO here, guys. I think he has the same energy. He doesn't want to get robbed again. Like, he does not want to get robbed again. And he has that same energy. He's going to come with that same energy. I think he's in a blitzkrieg Muslim. And he's just going to overwhelm. And guys, also, we got to note that Muslim Salikhov is 41 years old. You guys know how I feel about guys fighting way past their prime. Even though Muslim is getting good wins still. He's still getting really good wins. So, I mean, but, I just, if you're an older fighter, man, 41 years old, like what? This is a young man's game. Carlos Leal is a young man in his prime, 31 years old. I think he's about to put the beats on Muslim Salikhov. First round KO, in my opinion. Next fight in the card, we got Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagamedov. Boom. Now look, Bryce Mitchell is going down to bantamweight because Gene Silva made him look like he was nothing in his last fight. Gene Silva basically was emoting on him, just strangled him when he wanted to. Like, if Gene Silva wanted to strangle him in the first round, he would have strangled him in the first round. He just decided to wait until I think it was late second round. Like, Bryce Mitchell was showing levels, and he says, okay, well, I'm clearly too small for this division. Let me go down and try my luck. So now here he is against Said. Now, these guys are pretty even with the grappling, I think. Said has some nasty guillotines, man. I think it was like a Darce stroke he had Vinicius Oliveira in. He lost that fight because Vinicius is a savage in his own right. But, I mean, he had him, and Vinicius had to scramble out of that. He really had to worm his way out of that submission. It was pretty tight. And he does that. He's done that in his career several times. Bryce Mitchell and Said, I think, will even out in their grappling. I do think Said has the advantage on the feet, which is where I think the fight will take place. Majority of the fight, I think Said will be able to shrug off the takedown attempts of Bryce Mitchell. He may get caught in a clinch here and there, but I think he'll be able to work his way out of those. And I just think Said has very dynamic kicks, very leg kicks, low kicks, teep kicks, high kicks, question mark kicks. I mean, he does it all, and very flexible. He's able to whip kicks up very quickly from odd angles. I think he's just gonna land a lot more. He's fast. He's gonna land a lot more on Bryce Mitchell than Bryce Mitchell's gonna land on him. I do think that Said does gas though, so sorry about that, guys. People want to talk to me, I guess. So I do think with him being, gassing at times, I still see him winning the first 2 rounds. I see this being a 29-28 decision for Said Nurmagamedov. Bryce Mitchell is also cutting an extra 10 pounds. He's a smaller guy, so it might not be so hard for him. But he's coming down from a heavier weight class. He's going against although Gene Silva is a very fast guy. And we saw Bryce Mitchell is not very fast twitch. He likes to make the fight dirty. He likes to grab you and take you down and, use his submission ability. But, obviously Gene Silva showed him, speed, strength, all of which Said has. Said is very fast. He's strong. He's a good grappler. He's a Nurmagamedov. So I do think Bryce, again, they'll even out with the grappling, and I do think Bryce will struggle with the striking. I think that's where he'll lose this fight by a 29-28 decision. On to the next fight. We got Bogdan Guskov versus Nikita Krylov. Now, Bogdan Guskov lost to Volkan Oezdemir, but that was in 2023 by rear naked choke. And so we saw Volkan take him down and pretty easily sub him. He got taken down by Billy Elekana, and then he finished Billy by TKO. In his last two fights, he's finished submission specialist Ryan Spann, who's a submission specialist, I guess, in his own right. He TKO'd him. He TKO'd Billy Elekana. Now, Nikita Krylov 3 years ago I would have picked. But Nikita Krylov took like 2 years off, came back, got slept by a step back counter from Dominic Reyes. It was beautiful, beautiful timing, and slapped him face first into the canvas. He was snoring, he was taking a nap, he was dreaming about something. And I just think that Bogdan, I mean, the fight starts on the feet. Nikita, I mean, I don't know what he was blitzing forward on Dominic Reyes. You know, sure enough, he was throwing punches with his chin way up in the air. I could see him doing something similar, or, you know, shooting for a takedown and getting caught and put to sleep. Bogdan by first round KO. Again, Nikita's been off for like 2 years, comes back, gets brutally KO'd. That KO is in his mind. Now he's fighting another power puncher. It's going to be on his mind. It's going to make him anxious. He may overextend on a takedown, and he may shoot a takedown from too far out. I see him getting timed here, guys, and I do see him, Bogdan, cracking him. And, yeah, becoming ranked. I think Nikita's ranked still, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and that'll allow Bogdan to move up the rankings and, you know, work his way up to some contendership fights. On to the next fight. We have Jose Ochoa versus Almabayev. Almabayev lost by TKO to Manel Kape. You know, it was a weird, you know, eye pokes were involved, like, you know, groin shots were. Manel Kape is very fast. Manel Kape is very, very fast. I mean, he may be faster than Jose Ochoa. Jose Ochoa is very fast. I do think he is faster than Jose Ochoa. He has fast hands. And Asu had success on the feet at times. I do believe he got shown levels. I do believe he would have lost, regardless of the eye pokes or the groin shot. But he landed some good shots. I saw him land a couple, a front kick right up the middle. I saw him land a couple hooks. He's quick in his own right, and he's a very good wrestler. He wasn't able to take down Manel Kape, but Manel Kape has very good takedown defense. Here's the issue. Jose Ochoa, while he's powerful, he KO'd Cody Durden. He doesn't have the same takedown defense as Manel Kape. I think Almabayev has better wrestling than Cody Durden. I think Almabayev will take Jose Ochoa down and win a decision. I think he's going to grab him, take him down, and win the decision. Again, I think that he has capabilities on the feet as well. Almabayev is that's not his specialty. That's not his strong suit. It's obviously the wrestling, the grappling aspect. But I think he's good enough to be able to stand with Jose Ochoa and time a takedown. He does have some good timing on his entries. Mateus Nicolau, who we saw that fight, what he did to him. He had some good entries against Mateus. Jose Ochoa is relatively new. We saw Jose Ochoa lose to Loner Kavanaugh as well, who's also a prospect. And Loner Kavanaugh is going to be a problem, let's be honest. But I just see Asu being able to take him down and hold him down. Now, we've seen both the rushers that he's fought so far. Both the grapplers take him down and hold him down. His grappling's probably going to continue to get better because if he's seeing all the grapplers that he's seeing. But I don't think, Asu Almabayev is pretty high level. And I do see him winning a decision here. Say a 29-28. Nurmagamedov versus Marc-Andre Barrialt. Now, Mark lost 2 of his last 3 by TKO to Dustin Stolfus and Joe Piper. So he's been, and like brutal KOs too. They weren't like, I mean, he was sleeping on the canvas. So, and that's like the 4th time in his career that's happened. He's taken a lot of damage. I mean, we saw the Chris Curtis fight. You know, he's taken a lot of damage, man. He's been in a lot of like battles. And I think that Shara, while he lost to MVP is such a high level striker on the feet. You know, Shara is high level as well. I think Shara has very good footwork, very good kicks. He has power. We saw that double back fist KO versus Armen Petrosian. Very creative striker. I think this is a let's get him back on the winning books for the UFC. They like Shara Magomedov's character. I think this is just something for him to. I see a 2nd round KO here. Get him back on his winning ways in exciting fashion. Marc-Andre has just been in too many wars. He's been KO'd flat-faced on the canvas one too many times. And we've seen Shara put guys away. And yeah, I think that's what's going to happen here in this fight. 2nd round KO. TKO. And for the next fight, we got Marcus McGee versus Petr Yan. Now, this fight I'm the most excited for on this card. I think this will be the most competitive in the sense of high level guys that are up in the rankings now. Marcus McGee is ranked number 13, and Yan is ranked number 3. Here's what this is. Marcus McGee's a power puncher. You know, he has good volume. Marcus McGee has good setups at times. There are times where he throws empty kicks, though, and I've noticed that in his fights. He throws empty kicks, and he doesn't have good setups sometimes on some of his kicks. And, you know, we saw him kind of fade against Jonathan Martinez, so that's kind of where, you know, we saw some of that. But that's going to be a problem because by the time the 3rd round comes, you can't be gassing against Yan. Yan will start the fight, will download data midway through the 1st round. He's got you. You know, he's downloading data. I mean, he's one of the best fighters you know, he doesn't start off the fastest, but picking up speed and the snowball effect downhill. I mean, he's one of the best we've seen at that. Starts picking you apart. I mean, the fight against Jose Aldo, it was a masterful, one of my favorite fights ever. One of the more high-level striking matches I've ever seen until Yan figured Jose out and just finished him. Yan has the ability to switch stances at will. He's a lead hand master, so he likes that jab, lead hook. He loves feints. He loves his setups. Everything's a setup. He has that high guard pressure march, and while he's doing it, he's slipping punches. He parries in the pocket, right? So his best combo, he's that 1-2-3 low kick or 1-2-3 to double jab into rear uppercut. Like he pieces these combinations together and they're absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And his brutal body work, the step-in body shots. He is masterful, man. One of the best boxers we've ever seen. Great Muay Thai practitioner. His wrestling is underrated. His grappling is underrated. Some of those trips, Muay Thai trips, or those judo trips that he uses. Okay? The thing about his wrestling, he's not going to shoot a takedown, just shooting a takedown. He's going to set it up. So it's going to come off of a combination. Right? And then he's going to shoot in. Now, Marcus McGee does have very good takedown defense. 100% takedown defense accuracy. He's a southpaw. He has tremendous power. He likes to walk guys down. He likes to use lefts and then, hit him with that check, a check right hook. We've seen him do that mean left body kick. But again, like I said, sometimes he doesn't set that up. I think what we're going to see here in this fight, guys, we're going to see Peter Yan win a 30-27 decision. But I do think that we're going to have moments where we're like, oh, wait. We're going to have moments where we're like, oh, no. Oh, no. He's about to finish it. No. Okay, no. There's Yan. There Yan goes. You know what I mean? Like, we're thinking he's about to finish Yan, and then Yan just, slips something and just catches him or takes him down or does some sort of trip. And, I think that's what we're going to see in this fight. We are going to see moments from Marcus McGee, but I just think Jan's is too much. This is 13 versus 3. Jan's going to protect his number 3 ranking. That fight IQ on Yan is next level. You really need a Merab to beat Yan, because I don't think that fight against Sean O'Malley, he was robbed. I'm sorry. I don't like to call out robberies and say that, but because it was a close fight. It was a close fight, but it was a robbery. Peter Yan won that fight. Okay? We know that Aljo beat him as well. In the second fight, I'm not even going to talk about the first fight because we know what that was. In the second fight, I'm going to be honest with you, this might be cope, call it what it is. Had Yan not come out trying to kill Aljo, and he came out like his typical self, rewatch the fight. Watch him in the first round. Overextending on punches, throwing with ill intent. He wanted to hurt Aljo. Not your typical Yan. Had he gone into that fight and fought like he did in the 4th and 5th, he wins that fight. And easily, in my opinion. So I do think you need a guy like a Merab to beat Yan. Song Yadong. Not gonna lie, I was worried. Song Yadong's a power puncher, like a Marcus McGee. Look what Yan did to Song Yadong. Song Yadong has brick wall takedown defense. Yan was able to take him down, mixing in those combinations. Excellent at boxing in the phone booth and using his parries and that high guard. Well, he does need to watch out though, because that left kick. The thing about Yan though, he can counter that left kick by going southpaw. He can counter that left kick by going southpaw to prevent Marcus from. So Yan's good on both stances. I think he will switch it up. Regardless, I think he'll switch it up. But he does have that option. But again, we saw Song Yadong fight fight Yan, and what we thought was, I'm not gonna lie, I was afraid there was gonna be a knockout. Yan comes out. Song Yadong versus Jose Aldo, like we said. Davison Figueiredo. Peter Yan versus Davison Figgy. We saw him versus Sandhagen, who's about to fight for the belt. We saw him beat Sandhagen, who's a very high-level striker, dangerous guy, for landing flying knees, knocking people unconscious. Yan is next level, man. It really takes a Merab to beat him, and I'm actually excited for that rematch. I think it's going to be more competitive than people are giving Yan credit for. A lot of people are just writing Yan off in that fight. I'm not saying Yan wins. I would still pick Merab, but I think that fight's going to be much closer than we all think. I do think Yan wins this fight by 30-27. He will win a decision victory. Robert Whittaker versus Reinier de Ridder. Again, like I said, how washed is Robert Whittaker? We saw his jaw get crushed. We saw DDP finish him. DDP, who's another goofy striker like Reinier de Ridder. Lunging forward. The issue is DDP's so powerful that if you're anywhere close to him and you get hit with one of those shots, you're going down. We saw DDP hurt Whittaker, land ground and pound, and finish him off. And I think it was the second round, early second. I don't know that Reinier has that type of power to hurt Whittaker like that. Nor the wrestling of a Chimaev to blitz Whittaker and take him down. If it gets to the ground, then I can see a world where Reinier RDR has advantages, but Robert Whittaker has very good takedown defense. He's 81%, and that, that number shrank a little bit when he fought Chimaev. But had he not fought Chimaev, we'd be looking at, upper 80s. Robert Whittaker is very good still, man. We saw what he did to Ikram, the fight before the Chimaev fight. How soon do people forget? Again, Ikram jumped like 10 spots on the rankings to fight Whittaker. Same with RDR. He's not ranked that high, but he's getting this fight because, he had a good showing. I'm not gonna lie, and his age, and he's a previous champion in his last promotion. I'm not saying RDR is a bum. I just don't think he has any advantages anywhere to get to his sweet spot to where he's gonna utilize that grappling, because he's gonna have to get it to a position to where he's utilizing that grappling. And I don't see that happening. I don't think he's going to be able to shoot a takedown and take Robert Whittaker down. Now, he does have a 5-inch reach advantage, and could he land something goofy? He's striking. Robert Whittaker with that blitzing karate style. I think he's quicker than RDR. I don't think he's going to be there to be hit. We saw Whittaker versus Darren Till. We saw, Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. Besides that wheel kick where he got cracked, he was he's very hard to hit sometimes, man. He has a good style for Reinier de Ridder. Like I said, if Reinier had the power of a DDP, then I'd be worried, but he doesn't. Not saying he doesn't have power, but he doesn't have DDP power. I think Whittaker gets this one done early second round. TKO. I think he's just too much for RDR. The fight has to get to the ground. I don't see how it does. Whittaker's takedown defense is elite. Still. Yeah, that's what I got, y'all. Listen. Please subscribe, please comment, please like, please share, hit the bell icon, continue showing love, and I'll show love back. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Stay listening to this.